For me, flow in couples is not an extensive list of poses at all. It's about watching a story unfold and knowing when to step in and when to let it just flow out. For most photographers, flow feels like having this extensive shot list when that's not the reality. And I get it, it's a comfort thing. Knowing what poses you're gonna do makes you feel like you know what you're doing. For me, flow is movement, it's momentum. If momentum is there, the shoot feels effortless. And if there is no momentum, the session feels very forced and stiff, no matter how good the poses are. I don't visualize the poses in a shot list when I shoot couples. I visualize it as a story arc. Basically, my couple's boudoir is a massive storyline. Today, I'm gonna explain how I do that. So part one, you're gonna read the room, read the opening scene. Basically, by the time hair and makeup is done, I already know how the session is gonna go. That's not because I planned it out on the drive there, because I've been watching how they interact. I'm paying attention to things like who's answering the questions first, who's joking around, who seems a little nervous, who's touching who first, and who's waiting for permission to do anything. A prime example of this is when we're trying on outfits for her, because I have a whole client closet. If she knows what she wants and she's very good at making decisions, I know instantly that she will be the one that wants to take the lead. But if she's questioning what he thinks all the time, then I know he's the one that's gonna wanna take the lead because she feels she needs permission from him. So in that aspect, that tells me how the story is going to look like. And once I understand that, I don't fight it, I work with it. So then comes in planning directions, not poses. Not saying walk in and have no idea I'm posing. That's not the point of this channel. I'm trying to prep you to have a base core layer and allow you to evolve around it. I don't walk into couple sessions with this strict posing list and following it verbatim. I work with the direction also. The direction might feel slower, might be softer, maybe it's playful, BDSM, teasing, more bold. All of that is how I'm gonna frame the story arc. With that in mind, once I know my flow and my story arc, that's when the poses reveal themselves. That's again, not to say I don't know posing. I just know a lot of posing. And that helps me define soft and sweet, bold, and BDSM. Also, why my sessions don't feel rigid or unresponsive. They feel very natural. So how the flow actually happens. So flow to me happens when I stop trying to control every microsecond of the session. I control every micro point of a solo session. I do not control every microsecond of a couple session. So I'll start them in one strong starting pose, something that creates the closeness and safety right out the gate. If you want a full breakdown on what that starting pose looks like and how I build it from that, go ahead and look at the last video because that's going to explain exactly how that looks. Then, as you learn in that video, I let interaction really take control in that instance. I'm watching how they respond to each other. I'm not rushing when I shouldn't. I'm moving on when I should. And the same thing with like correction. In solo, I correct everything. In couples, I really only just try to enhance aspects of it, like, you know, arch your back a little, point your toes. But to me, couples is best imperfect. Like if something's working, I'm gonna let it stretch out. If something's not working, I'm just gonna move on to the next thing. I can always tell when someone does not feel comfortable with something, and I am very open in my studio. I make it a very safe space to speak your mind. So try to make that same energy in your studio. What helps a lot is joking around and playing, because a lot of people will feel safe in an environment that feels fun. So the fourth part is kind of knowing when to interrupt. I talked about this prior, but one of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of photographers doing is breaking or interrupting moments way too soon. Might be because you don't feel comfortable with the situation, or you just don't understand that it's progressing to a good point. Talking kind of resets that energy, so that's why a lot of times you don't hear me say much until maybe after, or like I say, end scene, and then I'll make a joke. Over directing couples is where you actually lose the connection, because they're more focused on the direction you're giving them than the connection they're having. A big part of maintaining the flow in couples is being very quiet, which, if you know me, is impossible. Because if I interrupt the story, connection lost. It's like someone take a scissors. So this kind of brings me back to like the final point of why I always say no two couple sessions are ever the same, because the story arc is always different to me. And they can be similar, some can have overlapping poses, but generally speaking, the arcs are all very different based on the flow from each couple. That's even to say that couples who have done it twice also get very different results each time, which makes it more fun. So it's like the same framework, same thinking, just different people and different storylines and different energies. Flow isn't about control, it's about responsiveness. So that's why I think couples boudoir can't be really taught with a pose list, if you will. You can definitely have a great base of 25 poses, but so much can stray off of that it's not what makes the session alone. You have to know how to read people, not just move people. Couples boudoir flows. It's effortless. Not because it's unplanned, but because all of that is very intentional. In my studio, every pose I photograph, or if you see me post on Instagram, they're all very intentional. So if couples boudoir is something you want to master, go ahead and subscribe with the emoji. I'll be sharing way more about how I approach it, poses I use, poses I don't use, and all of the nitty-gritty of it. I'll go through how I flow in a session, because I like to conserve energy, and I'll even get down to props at some point. But make sure you hit that subscribe button and hang out with us.